Hey everyone, Regal Reviews here. It's Wednesday, which means time for my Once Upon a Time recap. I'm still in denial that this is part of the series finale. This show just made me who I am today, and it's just overwhelming that this is the ending. So, we see a younger Henry attempts to wake Sleeping Beauty, and I thought this was weird because he's with Cinderella. I mean, I'm going to assume it's Sleeping Beauty anyway. And turns out that this is actually the Wish Henry that we saw from the Wish Realm. He, a dragon then appears, and he isn't able to wake up Sleeping Beauty. I'm going to assume who bumps into Henry is Philip, and Philip kisses Sleeping Beauty, waking her up, and Sleeping Beauty apparently thinks of Henry as a brother, not as a romantic interest, so that's definitely a low blow to Henry. We see that Rumple from the Wish Realm apparently wants to make a deal with Henry in the Wish Realm, but Henry refuses to make a deal with, the evil Rumpelstiltskin. Rumple offers Henry greatness. He offers him a castle and a princess, all the works. Basically, all that he's wished for would come true, but he still refuses. In Hyperion Heights, everybody is celebrating the fact that the curse is broken, and they're all just celebrating, enjoying each other's company. And let me see here. Henry then wonders what if Facilier is up to something, and little does he know that he's actually dead. Alice, this is actually kind of sad because we saw last week how Nook had to go to the hospital because of his poison heart because Tilly got too close to him. And Tilly's telling Nook about how they're celebrating the fact that the curse is over, and she's all the talking on a phone across the street. I mean, I really do hope, whatever happens, I hope that she'll get to be around her father. And I do think it's really cute that Nook calls her Starfish, refers to her as Starfish. That's a really cute nickname, and you can really tell that Alice is a daddy's girl. Regina goes to look for Facilier, and he's nowhere around. And apparently he had Rumple tied up behind this fountain here, and that's when Rumple first tells Regina that Facilier's dead and that the Wish Realm hook killed him. And I gotta feel bad for Regina because every single person she's loved, Daniel, Robin, Facilier, now gone. Well, I wouldn't say love Facilier. I think that was just a fling with him. I don't think she actually loved him like she did Daniel and Robin. But anyway, Henry, Jacinda, and Lucy also celebrate with a candle on a cupcake, which we saw in the pilot episode. That's how it all started. Emma wished on a birthday candle. And when they didn't even make a wish, she went to blow out the candle, and Wish Rumple took them away somewhere. So Henry then tells the group that Wish Rumple sent Jacinda and Lucy away, and they apparently have to go to the Wish Realm to get the dagger. I love when Regina said, we kick ass and we protect the people we love. And he's like, oh, that should be a family motto. That really should be a Mills family motto. Tiana is having a bit of a identity crisis because in her realm she's this queen and everything, but in Hyperion Heights she's just she's Sabine. She owns this food truck. Henry and everyone then go to the Wish Realm to try to stop Wish Rumple. And Wish Rumple's castle is definitely not the one that we're used to seeing. There's skeletons all over the place. This is basically what we're seeing is Rumple had he not met Belle. And we see that Pan is back. He has Pan as a prisoner, I guess locked in this, where you put your head here and your hands here, and says, he says that everything good in this castle comes in, but nothing comes out. So that's really scary. Rumple and Nook are at this cottage, and I first thought that this was where Rumple and Belle spent their time together, but again, I forgot this is the Wish Realm. This is the place where it all started for Rumple and where he crippled himself so he wouldn't have to fight in the Ogre Wars, and where he became a coward. And Nook says that he's as real as you and me, and it's weird to hear that, because I was always in the impression, when this whole wish realm thing came about, that they were just wishes. Ariel is back, and she helps Nook and Rumple by giving them squidding to hopefully stop Wish Rumple. And Cruella is back, and I gotta say, I really missed her sass. She was actually flirting with Henry at one point, and she's basically what Regina put as being a guard dog, guarding whoever comes by Rumple's castle. Then Regina magics Cruella in a cage to hopefully get information where Jacinda and Lucy is. And they find out that they're in the dungeons, and we see that Wish Rumple has Jacinda and Lucy in the snow globe. And he has basically until midnight, because he magicked so that there's snow that will fall, and if he doesn't trap until midnight, they'll lose their lives. So yeah, a lot of pressure. The only way to free them is Rumple, because Regina tried to use magic to try to free them, but that's not going to work. And Henry then, he's running on emotions right now. He wants to save his family, and he doesn't really believe Rumple. He says at one point, we have to figure out who really deserves a happy ending, and that's not like our Henry at all. Henry then goes searching in the library to try to find a way to free Jacinda and Lucy. Rumple then meets Wish Rumple in his old home, and he says he doesn't know how to get rid of the dagger, because he doesn't want all that darkness to go to some innocent person, and he doesn't want them to have that burden. You could definitely see how Rumple's changed there. And the one Rumple made a point saying that the only thing he hasn't been able to defeat is himself, and that's true to an extent. The only thing that Rumple hasn't been able to fight is the darkness. And Wish Rumple then tries to grab Rumple's dagger, because he tried to make a deal with him that Rumple would give Wish Rumple the dagger, and in exchange Rumple would get his happy ending. And he put squid ink on Wish Rumple to kind of freeze him until Rumple can do what he needs to do. And he basically says that Wish Rumple needs to be put out of his misery, because Wish Rumple is like, oh, if you kill me, then you won't be able to get reunited with Belle. But if it's to rid him of, if it's to rid the darkness of all the land, then I guess that would lead him to Belle. And Regina then comes in, and then it actually gives Wish Rumple enough time to fight off the squid ink. And Wish Rumple reminds Rumple of the prophecy from years ago about what this year, and I forgot about this prophecy too, that the boy will be his undoing. So whatever's going on, Henry will be his undoing. And Henry then realizes that he could figure out something. He could figure out how to save his family without sacrificing a dagger. And Nook tries to go and help him, because he doesn't want Henry to do this by himself, and he knocks him out. We find out that Henry's actually looking for the author's pen. I mean, I don't know how I didn't think of that before. And the apprentice sees, the apprentice sees him, and he's not just going to give the pen to anybody. So he does this test, and he sees that Henry is in fact the true author, and that he's gone through so much. And he reminds Henry that the author's job is to record and not to write the story. You know what I mean? It's a little complicated there. Basically, he can't change any stories, and he can't write it to what he wants. He can't create the stories. He has to record. Basically, that's what it said. And the apprentice said something that we as fans have all been thinking. He said, "Oh, the timelines, that's enough to confuse anybody." Yeah, that's one of the things that we've been confused at this whole season. So Henry then needs ink for the pen. So he takes the black ink from Cruella's hair. Yeah, she was not happy about that at all. And uses it to fuel the pen. And we see that young Henry, who's, I guess, the Wish Henry, is there. And he apparently has made a deal with Wish Rumple, because I guess Wish Henry has never gotten his wishes come true. So he's willing to fall to darkness. So now Wish Rumple has both young Wish Henry and adult Henry, and he wants them to write his story. Because at first Henry said, Rumple can't write the stories, only the author can. So technically, young Wish Henry is the author as well, because he's a part of Henry. So Rumple and Nook and Regina try to go in and stop them, and says, with every deal that there's a loophole, but Wish Henry isn't budging, and Wish Rumple says that he'll basically never be able to see Belle again, and the first thing he writes is that the power of the Guardian is gone. So I'm wondering, does Alice lose all of her powers now, or what? And he then magics Nook and Rumple and Henry to where his family is. I'm going to assume maybe they're in the snow globe as well. Not sure. That leaves Regina and Wish Henry, and Regina's wondering, why am I still here? And Wish Henry says basically he has unfinished business with Regina because she killed Snow and Charming and took his mother, Emma, away. I don't think Emma is his mother, but I'm just saying what he said. And he wants her to pay. So I'm hoping he's not going to kill her. That would be freaking awful. In Hyperion Heights, Margot and Tilly go to Sabine for help to try to, because Tilly senses that something's up and that they need to go help their family in the Wish Realm. And Sabine then gathers everyone and tries to see if anybody has some kind of artifact that would be a portal, and Remy gives them a magic bean. So Tiana decides to stay in Hyperion Heights while Margot and Tilly go in the food truck to the Wish Realm. But they are going to make some pit stops along the way to get some help. I assumed at first, they would obviously go get Zelena for obvious reasons, because she's got magic and can obviously help. But we see that the food truck is going back home to Storybrooke. And I gotta say, I did have goosebumps at the end. I mean, Hyperion Heights was great and all, but I think we could all agree that our home and our hearts belong in Storybrooke. So, yeah, part 1 of the series finale. I think I'm okay right now. I think it'll really hit me next week in the final part of the series finale. The previews for next week's show, there's going to be a showdown for everyone, and the question remains, who will get their happy endings? And Wish Henry is definitely out to get Regina. And I guess from what the preview was implying, that Wish Henry doesn't believe anybody loves him, which is sad. And he has Regina by a sword here. And she says, if I need to die to make to show you that people love you, then that's a fate that I'm willing to take. So I'm hoping, Regina doesn't die. That would be a horrible way to go. I mean, seriously, it would just make the whole series pointless then if it all meant that Regina would die in the end and the Charmings got their happy endings, And it's kind of confusing to me, because we have, obviously, adult Henry, we have Wish Henry, and now that the curse is broken, are they now back to their time, or is there that young Henry that we saw last week that was just about to graduate? Like, is that over now or what? Like, that's super confusing. I'm hoping somebody could come down below and elaborate on that, because I'm wondering, is there 3 Henrys now? Is there a Wish Regina? Is there the current Regina and now there's past Regina? I have no idea. So I hope you guys enjoyed part 1 of the series finale, and I hope you guys tune in next week for the conclusion of Once Upon a Time. It is on Friday, 8 p.m. on ABC. Until next week, stay regal.